Daniel Bushman was a fairly, or at least relatively, normal man who lived a fairly, or at least relatively, normal life. It was until the year 2012 when he, like millions of people all around the globe, began to have the horrific and prophetic visions of the awakening of the Great Old One known as Cthulhu. It was disturbing and unsettling, the awful nightmare he had warning him of the event, to see this disgusting creature with bright glowing red eyes, a form that was both plasma and solid and completely non-Euclidean. Such was the awful experience of envisioning the horrific creature that was the Great Old One. By the next day, after he had had his first vision, he started clawing at every part of his body, feeling a disturbing need to draw someone's blood. After that, he decided that, as he was getting dizzy and his body was covered in countless scratches, scars, and cuts, that he needed to go to the emergency room. So he got in his car, and he did so. On the ride there, blood began pouring like tears from his eyes. He had never laid a finger on his face, yet it was solely from the maddening vision of Cthulhu. By the time he got there, all he could do was scream, writhing in the agony. Eventually, he saw someone else there, who he had to suddenly pounce on in his moment of insanity. 3 doctors came and got him off of the man. He started begging for a priest. The next morning, he woke up, still not sane, in a padded room. He began clawing at himself again, and when he saw someone outside the window, he once again begged for a priest, but was denied. He had never been a very religious man, but he would take anything 'cause he felt something truly supernatural in his experience of these horrific visions, these disturbing visions that had driven him so mad, driven him to do things he never otherwise would, driven him to have beaten a man to near death and to have clawed at himself till his body was losing blood from every square inch. But eventually, things began to change. While his madness had been very subconscious and hard for him to realize or acknowledge on the first 2 days, by his 3rd day, the man, who had no memory of the second, he felt an awful and horrific rage. For the nightmare he had had the night before was of Cthulhu's eyes, glowing red, emanating and possessing incredible, immense hatred and anger. Now, the man was not just insane, but he was in a great rage, but he hated it. He attempted to calm down, and once again began screaming for a priest. Then 3 doctors came in. One of them grabbed each of his arms, and the 3rd one gave him an injection, which made him become less angry. Of course, the madness was still there, as he bit at their arms and necks and clawed at himself, and had the same disturbing visions of the creature whose appearance was so horrific that I cannot fully describe. But he began to forget the creature, then his life before learning of it, then how to even stand as his body dropped to the floor. But he was numb to the pain. Soon he could think of nothing, and his eyes closed. He was not dead, but to say he was alive, to say he could observe the world and interact with it, would also be an overstatement.